to this very special Eid broadcast, and it's definitely an exciting, inspiring one. Speaking to Maulana Arshad earlier about the insights into Qurbani and how important it was. I think it was very insightful for us and also inspirational, especially during these 10 days. And as we know, we're going to be celebrating Eid tomorrow. But talking about the Qurbani, we're going to be speaking to Dr. Arshad Mather. He's a senior researcher at the CSIR, and they're going to be shedding some light on the Qurbani preparations in light of COVID-19. And as we know, things are a little bit different, so we thought we'll give you some education with regard to that. But before we even go there, I was hoping to try and inspire you, because as we know, it's a time where we're not getting to go to those farms out there and experience the real garden. And we know, I know as a family with us, we normally pack our picnic basket on Eid day and we go out to the farm and we spend the day at the farm with all the greenery and all the, should we say, insightful, relaxing things that we do there. And unfortunately, this year it's different. So that's why you see all the decor around you here. This is what we decided to do, is since we can't go out to the farms and experience the beauty and the wonder and the nature of our beloved Allah, we brought it into the studio so you can get a bit of that garden and that country feel and that feel of the farm. So I'm hoping that this has helped you get into a better vibe of things. So let's welcome Dr. Arshad Mather online. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Just a correction, Nafisa, before we move on. I'm from the Agricultural Research Council, ARC, and not CSIR.
Oh, okay. I think our apologies for that.
No
And
problem.
are you? What we wanted to do is talk to you a little bit about, of course, we know it's a very different Eid. The times have changed, due to COVID-19. And the way we're doing Qurbani is not the same. And as I was just saying earlier before I introduced you, was the fact that, we brought the garden into the studio because we can't go out to the garden. And normally on Eid day, we're the types of families that go out onto the farms and get the full-on experience. Explain to us this year what is going on, and of course the types of things that you're doing from your side.
Okay, so we in the pandemic, we have a third wave, so there's a lot of concern with regards to people's safety, health issues, sick people, etc. So what Empha has done, I'm deputy chair of the organization called African Muslim Farmers Association. So what we've done is we've tried to educate our farmers to provide them with some sort of operating protocols, when they are doing Qurbani on their farms. So basically a document which we're willing to share with everybody, and it's not only available for our farmers, on what to look out for. So things like, make sure that they receive gas that are masked, that they make sanitizers available, that they maintain a register for contract tracing if there's anything, do temperature taking, things like that, in measures to look out for. And then, we've tried to identify what some of the risks are for spreading the infection, COVID, the virus, and this would be screening your skinners on the farm. So we've instructed our members also to look at who you employ on the farm to do the skinning of the animals. So you make sure that you don't get sick people around, etc. So those are some of the things we've done for our farmers, really, to make sure that we have a safe environment for Qurbani.
It's nice to see actually these processes being put into place, because as I was saying, Qurbani is so different this year. And, as we know, it's not the same. A lot of people have been going a different route where they order their Qurbani, get it done by a particular farm. They're not actually going in there themselves and then getting them to send the video to say, now your Qurbani is done. But you say there are some farms that are actually, farmers that are actually doing it and following the usual protocols. So talk us through the processes and what has changed this year for you. I mean, there's a lot of new things that are happening during this COVID-19 period.
Yeah, so like I say, the main thing is we've informed our farmers. So it's an auspicious occasion. People want to go out to the farms, but we also want to minimize the risk of catching sick and getting infected with the virus. So in that regard, I've spoke to you about some of the things we've done there. One of the main things also we've asked our farmers is if they are receiving people to slaughter on the farm, we do slots. You allow them to come at specific times, so we don't have lots of mingling and mixing with large groups. And I think this would then minimize the risk. So what's different this year is really you people as the division. This is the advice we are giving people. as an individual, you should see where it's best to minimize the risk of getting sick and choose that option for doing your qurbani. If you are comfortable and happy and you've spoken to the establishment of the farm or the abattoir where you're going to go slaughter, and you're happy that they're implementing measures to minimize the risk, then that would be an option for you to go to. But if you're not comfortable, there's an option of sending money overseas. That there's a lot of those going around. Empha's also partnered with people in Zambia, where we're doing some qurbanis there for people that want to send their money out, who are not comfortable going to the farm. And then the third option would be to do your qurbani in your home, having animals delivered. And there also, there are some things to look out for as the public. Make sure that when the animals are delivered, that's your biggest risk really, is the delivery of the animals. Keep a mask on, keep a safe distance from the person delivering your animals. And then if you're cutting in your yard, what we're advising also is avoid large gatherings. If you are just doing your immediate family, loved ones, close ones, wife, children, parents, and 2, 3, 4 animals in the yard, rather than large 20, 30, 40 animals, where again, you increasing that risk of spread of the disease if anybody is sick. Yeah.
I agree with you. Dr. Mather, let's talk about Empha and the role it plays, because I think it's important for people to understand the type of role that you play as far as qurbani and of slaughtering of animals is concerned.
So Empha's mission, is really bigger than qurbani. Yes. This started off with a group of people that were really passionate about farming and food security in countries, and the specific requirements that Muslims have in our food chain, with regards to halal meat, halal crops, tayyib, pure crops. And that's why Empha was founded. And part of that role is also the qurbani, So what we went about doing, and also the challenging environment that our Muslim farmers face in this country, Traditionally, farming we know was primarily white domain, mostly white farmers. And there was a lot of chatter amongst our Muslim farmers that they're not getting the help that they need from white farmers, and in some instances even giving them better. And I'm generalizing, it doesn't mean all of them, So Empha was formed as an organization to say, okay, let's try to pool all our resources as Muslim farmers. Whether it be livestock farming or crop farming, because we got some crop farmers as well, doing olives, doing maize, doing, grasses for feed for animals, And we said, let's put together an organization that can pool together our resources and help each other, really. And also it gives us a voice to lobby at government when it comes to specific needs of Muslims, Last year we did a project where we were having a lot of interference from the SPCA with regards to slaughter at home, slaughter on our farms, and went and tackled that. We met with the SPCA and we provided them with documents indicating to them what our needs are as Muslims, making sure that we do not land up in a situation where we have to comply with rules that other countries are forced to comply, with regards to stunning of animals before slaughter.
Right.
We have those liberties in our country, we can slaughter directly without stunning first, and we want to not destroy them. And in the same light, this also requires our members themselves, and our Muslim community to come to the party, with regards to humane treatment of animals, So the spreading of videos of cows being tackled with ropes around their feet, to avoid those sort of things, So that's really what we also do with our farmers, with our member and the public, that these are not the way to handle animals for qurbani. They have to be handled with respect. And when we do that, then we have the respect of the SPCA saying, this is it's an auspicious day, it's a religious occasion, it's a sacrifice that they're doing in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and there's conditions that need to be followed, And this is some of the things that we do as Empha.
I really appreciate that fact, because the thing is, as you say, you've given a voice to the voiceless, because the Muslims, at least people understand the type of processes that we as Muslims have to follow. It's nice that you brought that aspect up about, the animals and the way they need to be treated. I strongly suggest, and I'm sure you'd agree with me, and we do this as a family, is when we have to cut a bull of that particular size, not a sheep, is then to just go to a proper farm where they have the necessary facilities and create less issues as far as that is concerned. And as you were saying, it's the treatment and the manner in which it's done. So there are so many farms out there that actually have the necessary equipment. Is it a way where you also as Empha go out there and see what sort of processes they're putting into place to make sure that the qurbani is done properly?
So with regards to that, we haven't yet started spot checking on farms. So like I say, we've got our members, and all our members, we do educational drives. We've been doing, because
Right.
of the challenging environment now, we do a lot of Zoom meetings, to indicate how things
Yes.
should be done. We've got ulama on our committee. Maulana Adil, he's the Amir of Empha, so we've got the ulama backing also with regards to rules and regulations. And there's a lot of chat on our groups all the time. So one of our main communication methods is really using WhatsApp, and we'll post things of what's going wrong, and how animals should be handled, age of animals. So if you slaughtering as the public, if you slaughtering at a Empha member farm, a farm who the owner of the farm belongs to Empha, you can be rest assured that the farmer himself is clued up with regards to rules and regulations for Qurbani, specifically, age of animals, tails. There's so many of these intricacies, whether animals should be castrated or not, horns, stunning, how this plays in the Qurbani. And that is the surety you'll have when you choose a farmer that belongs to Empha. But we haven't yet gone out to farms. But what we have done is when there's complaints from the SPCA. So we've had complaints previously. This year, Shukar, there's not much complaints. And I think this is because of the COVID. There's really not widely advertised venues to do the Qurbani. But last year we had some complaints of farmers saying, we're aware of this farmer, it's this venue who was ill-treating animals, and they show us videos, and we've actually put together a delegate from members of Empha who's visited that farmer and says, brother, this is not the way we should do Qurbani. This is the animals, you have to respect the animals, treat them humanely, provide them with food and water, their basic needs, and so, in a nice way, convince that farmer that, look, you don't have the facility for these bull cuttings, as you've mentioned, Nafisa, there are farmers that have the means and the facilities, and those are the farms we should choose to do larger animals, because they've got the equipment, and this prodding and poking and ropes around the legs and, sitting on the animal after you're dropping is really not the way that it should be done.
Dr. Benjamin, I'm glad that you brought that aspect up, because the farm we go to is actually not owned by Muslims. But working through so many years with the types of Qurbani that they've been doing, they've been educated so well on the processes that every single year that we go there, we see them improving on one thing or the other. So as you were saying, it would be nice for Empha to actually go into those farms and educate all the other farmers as well that are not Muslims that are doing these things, to be able to know the processes. And I think it's imperative for them to be able to know that, so that when we go there, the process is much easier. And of course, the necessary is in place as well.
Correct. Yeah, I agree with you. And it's something we're working on. There are two main things that Empha is looking at. Number one is really to also is the farmer thing, making sure that the farmers themselves know about all the requirements for Qurbani and have the adequate resources. And in that vein, we are running educational drives, that sort of thing. But for now, primarily, mostly on the radio stations, we do a little bit, and then obviously with our own members, Zoom meetings, etc. And on the other side is also this expense, the cost of animals. We see the spiraling cost of Qurbani animals, and it's things that we are constantly having chat amongst our members, that we should actually, because primarily Muslim farmers in this country were really, glorified traders, very few breeders, and we are saying that we should, as Muslims, start getting involved in breeding of animals, because if we do that, we exactly know what the input costs are, and we can then control prices when it comes to Qurbani, and make Qurbani affordable for the entire community, the South African community, really.
I so agree with you there, because the thing is, during this COVID period, I mean, a lot of people have found themselves with challenges, and of course, the financial situations that they're in, and some of them are finding it not affordable to be able to do the Qurbani. So it's nice to see that you've thought about that aspect of it, because the thing is, Qurbani is something that every single one of us would love to do for the pleasure of Allah, but some of the people are finding themselves in the situations where they can't due to the affordability. So it's nice that you brought that into effect, because a lot of people then look for the spaces to go to the organizations where they find they can buy a share, which kind of makes it easier for them. So I'm glad that you brought that particular aspect up and that you're looking at that.
Yeah, definitely. So what we're saying is really and we've run some training courses with our farmers to say, look, you know what, you need to move your establishment from just trading and a small amount of sheep, a small herd, to large scale feedlotting, where you can fatten up sheep, buy them beforehand, those sort of things. So we are running those training courses with the intention, inshallah, that these farmers will then enter the market and make these animals available to the public at an affordable price.
Doctor, earlier you brought up the aspect of having Empha farms. Where would people actually find all these farms? Is there a particular list that you have that they know that they can go to the particular Empha farm and that the processes are already there? So it kind of makes life a whole lot easier for them.
So the easiest way is really to look at all our social media channels, and you'll have a contact details. So we've got an Empha office and an admin staff that mans the office. If you can contact our admin staff, she'll put you in charge in the various areas. We've got farmers right up into the Western Cape. Most of them in KZN and in Gauteng, and she'll put you in charge with some of our members and their establishments. And I'd like to also add, Nafisa, that one of the other projects we're also looking at is really this, and again, it stems from COVID and the difficult environment we are in, is the Sadqa project that we try to kick off. So the idea is a national hotline, phone one place and say, look, I would like to do a Sadqa and I want it to be done and I want the meat packaged and distributed. And we will then put you in touch with one of our members in the area, whichever area you are in, and have that Sadqa done for you. Show you pictures of those animals that were slaughtered, with the size, how they when they skinned and cleaned, as evidence, that it's really, and again, bring you as the end user, the public, closer to their own sadqa, etc. And then if you want that meat distributed. If you want it delivered in the area that you live, it can be distributed to you. So that's another one of the projects that we're also looking around at this period of COVID, this difficulty that we're experiencing.
I think that's a phenomenal project because, as I was saying earlier, we're looking at trying to make people's lives easier when it comes to this. And, as we know, years ago, it was very difficult for people to do Qurbani because they had to find the right spaces to be able to go to. But bringing up that subject and the manners in which and processes that you are putting into place says a lot from the Agricultural Research Council and, of course, being a member of the African Muslim Farmers Association. I think you are doing an absolutely phenomenal job when it comes to that, because you're making our lives, the Muslims and the citizens of this country, a whole lot easier when it comes to Qurbani.
Definitely, yeah. So maybe I can just touch a little bit about my company. So and that's really what Empha is one of the social projects I'm doing. That's pro bono. I work for the Agricultural Research Council, and the space I work in also is vaccine development. And again, one of the things of Empha again is encouraging our youth also to get involved in farming. And to make them understand that farming is not only literally with your hands on the ground or handling the sheep. It's varied. I'm in the agricultural space, but I'm a doctor. I got my PhD in molecular biology, biochemistry. So I'm a scientist, but I'm working in the agricultural field. And again, we need our youth to get involved in these sort of projects and these sort of careers, because it impacts on our Muslim lives. So I'm involved with manipulation of viruses, bacteria. The GMO space that we play in, and again, so we can advise our ulama what all this entails when we talk about lab-grown meat, or when we talk about a genetically modified organism in a crop, a GMO maize or a GMO plant or an animal, So the ulama can then make informed decisions. And we've done some outreach also as Empha to all our various ulama bodies, the Jamiatul Ulama KZN, Jamiatul Ulama South Africa, UXA, and again, just saying that, look, we've got the skill, we've got these farmers, we know about these things. If ever you guys need any advice or us to do sessions of training to make you understand the technology. So we're not passing fatwas on our side. We're just transferring our knowledge with regards to these technologies, So the ulama then can go about and make informed decisions when it comes to these issues.
And I think it's also about creating that support structures for those out there that are interested in becoming agricultural farmers. There's so many Muslims that would love to do that, but haven't got enough education on hand. And I think this is where you come into place, which I think is an imperative thing that you are doing from your side. And we want to commend you on that, because the thing is, once they have the education, it then creates that upliftment and then, of course, the sustainability. So we're going to have loads of Muslim farmers at some point. And as you were saying, that is where we need to bridge the gap, because at the moment we don't have enough of that right now.
Definitely. That's one of our missions, and that's what we're looking at, really. Yeah.
So I want to commend you on that, because I think that's phenomenal, because I'm speaking to so many people just, on the ground sometimes when I'm having conversations, and they're so interested in wanting to do farming, but of course don't know where to start. So I think I'm definitely going to send your details out and get them to get in touch with you so that we can get this project going on another level. And I really want to thank you so much for joining us. But what message would you like to leave our people with this afternoon?
That's always a difficult one for me to do the wrap up, but just what I want to again about Empha, definitely if there's anybody that wants to contact us with regards to any really issue, we really got. I mean, we got a small group now. We're about 65, 68 members. But all passionate about farming, passionate about what they do is in their careers, in their daily lives, and they're willing to share their knowledge. I mean, even if it's students that are graduating from the vet faculty or doing some agricultural sciences and want to spend some time on a farm just to get their hands on, definitely they must contact Empha. We'll put them in touch with the right people. If there's some advice you want, I mean, it's the same with me. And if I don't really know, I move them on to somebody else. When people want to get into farming, to know the logistics of farming, what it entails, definitely we are willing to share our knowledge. We got a phenomenal group of people that put together. Really, it's become a brotherhood more than an organization.
And I think it's about networking, and as you were saying, creating this brotherhood, which I think is so important as Muslims, to be able to create the support structure where, I mean, a lot of the times where you go out into places here in South Africa, slowly now I see they're getting to know the halal, haram position and what it is that we as Muslims need to know. But the processes that you followed and now creating this opportunities, and I would like to reach out to those young people out there to definitely get in touch with you, to say, let's get in touch with Empha, because they're going to be able to, give you the tools, should we say, to equip yourselves to be able to become those efficient farmers that we're looking for out there.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime. And I'll share my details with you. I mean, we've got a Facebook page. There's with Instagram and all the main social media channels. Definitely we can share that information and people can contact us whenever they want to, and we'll be willing to assist wherever we can.
Jazakallah so much. We want to commend you for creating this platform, because I think it was a much needed one. There's been a major gap in the market as far as that is concerned. So I'm actually quite excited about this, and we're hoping to chat to you in the near future to see how much we can take this more forward.
Jazakallah. Thanks for having us on your channel, and we will keep in touch.
And what last message would you like to leave us with?
The last message is, enjoy your Qurbani. It's an auspicious day. Enjoy it with friends and family in a responsible way. And inshallah, this will bring us closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and closer to our family.
Ameen. And you and your family have a blessed Eid, and of course a safe one from myself and the team. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And thank you so much for taking the time out to should we say, inspire us about your subject.
Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Dr. Arshad Mather from Agricultural Research Council. He works there and he's also created the member of African Muslim Farmers Association, definitely teaching us important things, I think, that we never actually thought about before, shedding light on things that are important, especially during this period of Qurbani. And let's not make it stop there. Let's get in touch with him further and get those farming and agricultural issues going. We're going to go for a quick break. We'll be back with you in a moment.